everybody, and welcome to Storm Raids. And today I am going to talk about my favorite books of 2020. I've decided to split these up into like 4 different videos. That way, hopefully, things aren't too long. So I'm going to do my favorite books that I was surprised that I enjoyed, my disappointed reads, and then the ones that I deemed the worst books of the year. And I cannot remember a whole lot about a lot of these books, especially the ones that I read during the beginning of the year. I read probably about 200 books, and so that's a lot of books to try to remember anything about. And so I will probably look at Goodreads to kind of remind me of what the books were about. And so with that, I'm just going to talk about the books. And so the first one that I have to talk about is The Janes by Luisa Luna, and it's number 2 in the Alice Vega series. And this one, it says, on the outskirts of San Diego, the body of 2 young women were discovered. There's no names, no IDs, and no family looking for them. Fearing the possibility of human trafficking ring, the police and the FBI reach out to Alice Vega, a private investigator known for finding missing, for help in finding out who the Janes were and finding the others who are missing. And that's a little bit of a background on what the Janes was about. And Alice Vega, she is very well known for going above and beyond and finding the missing person. So anytime you need help finding the missing, she's just the person that you would go to. And in the first book, Two Girls Down, I really enjoyed that, and it was really fun getting to know Alice Vega, because she is really, she's a really hardened, kind of a woman and she doesn't care what she has to go through to get the person. She's going to find the person. And in this one, the like I said, the FBI and stuff, they ask for her help because they know she's very good at what she does. And her, along with her partner Cap, who is I think he's a retired police detective, and they met in the first book, and he used her. I think they were both working the same case in the first one, and then they've kind of teamed up, and they seem to be a pretty good team. And so she brings him in on this one, and there is a human trafficking thing going on here. And so if you don't like that type of thing, then this might not be for you. But it is about some missing girls, and it's not only just the 2 Janes that they found, but yeah, there is a whole bunch of other girls that are missing. And in order to find those missing girls, Alice Vega needs to find out what happened to the Janes, and who are the Janes, and where did they come from. And she will pretty much stop at nothing, even when she has people telling her to quit looking. They don't want her involved anymore, and all this stuff. She doesn't care. She's just going to go for it, and she's going to find them. And it gets her in a lot of trouble in this one, and it was just really interesting. It's very fast-paced, and it's the kind of mystery type of book that I like, because I don't like being real bored and stuff. I like mine to be pretty fast-paced and to find out what's going on. And I kind of figured out some things, but there were other things going on that I couldn't figure out, and I like it whenever I can't figure things out. And yeah, I really enjoyed this one, and I don't see where there's going to be a third one coming out yet, but I do hope that there's going to be a third one, because I really enjoyed these 2. But 2020 being what it is, I know there's a lot of series and things getting pushed back and things, so hopefully there will be another one. Fingers crossed. Okay, and the second book that I would like to talk about is A Murderous Relation by Deanna Raybourn, and this is the 5th book in the Veronica Speedwell series. And Veronica Speedwell and Stoker are like 2 of my absolute favorite people. And so the banter between the 2 of them is what makes this series like really good. And in this one, I'm going to read to you. It says, Veronica Speedwell and her natural historian colleague Stoker are asked by Lady Wellingtonia to help with a potential scandal so explosive it threatens to rock the monarchy. Prince Albert Victor is a regular visitor to the most exclusive private club in London. And to the proprietress, Madame Aurora, he has received an expensive gift that can be traced back to the prince. And Lady Welly would like Veronica and Stoker to retrieve the jewel from the club before the scandal can break. And Lady Welly, she is, kind of like, I guess you could say, the protector of like the prince. She wants to make sure that nothing happens that can lead to a scandal. He's young, and a lot of the princes and stuff, they do things without really thinking or caring how it's going to affect the monarch. And so she wants to make sure that he doesn't get himself into trouble, that he's her favorite prince. And so she wants Veronica and Stoker to help because they have solved several mysteries in the past. And so they agree to go and go undercover into this brothel and try to retrieve the jewel and see what's going on. Also in the background there, it is 1888, and the Jack of the Ripper is also kind of in the foreground of this because of everything with that going on. And I got interrupted, so I'm not quite sure where I left off. Oh, anyway, also I think Lady Welly is a little bit afraid that maybe Prince Albert might have something to do with the Jack the Ripper stuff, so that kind of worries her a little bit. So yeah, it's very entertaining and it's a lot of fun. Me and my friend Barb, we always buddy read each of the books in the series, and so we both can't wait to get to the next one that's coming out. And yeah, it's just, I really love the banter between the characters, and I just really love the characters, and so that's why it's one of my favorites, because I love it. I always look forward to the next one that's going to come out. So that's a favorite when you're always looking forward to it. My next favorite is Whispering Pines by Heidi Lang and Katie Barkowski. And this is a middle grade book, and it's the first in the series. I'm so glad to find out that it was a series because of how it left me kind of hanging at the end. I contacted the authors and I'm like, please tell me this is going to be part of a series, a trilogy or something. I don't know, but I needed more. And the way it left, I knew it had to be the first book in a series, even though it wasn't saying that at the time. This one is about Ray's father vanished without a trace, and Ray knows what happened to him, but no one will believe her when she says that her father didn't run off, that he was actually taken. Now, a year of therapy later, Ray's mother decided they need a fresh start, so they move to the town in hope that life can return to normal. The problem is, there is nothing normal about the town of Whispering Pines. Yeah. There is nothing normal about this. Like, even here on the back it says, play it safe and leave the woods alone. Curfew begins at sunset. No students out after dark. Parents or recognized guardians must pick their students up from school following any after-school activities. Garlic is to be eaten, not worn. Absolutely no chalk allowed. The second field is closed due to a sudden sinkhole appearance. All outdoor activities will now be scheduled on the first field only. No wearing red. This includes shirts, pants, hats, and lipstick. No cell phone use within the school grounds. So, yeah, things are a little different in Whispering Pines. And it was super fun and really creepy for a middle grades book. I thought this was probably one of the creepier middle grade books that I've ever read. Perfect for kids who love spooky and horror type books. I would read this anytime, but I know if some people, if they absolutely love reading things like this during October, it'd be a perfect book for that. I mean, look, this got a creepy hand on him, and look at his eyes all weird. And yeah, Ray, she thinks that when she comes to this town, she's going to be able to have a fresh start because of some things that happened at her old school. And when she gets here, she finds out, maybe being not normal is normal. And she becomes friends with Caden, whose parents are ghost hunters. So he's kind of a little bit of an outcast too. And his brother is missing. And that's one of the things that happens. There's a lot of missing kids. And some of them come back and some of them don't. But when they do come back, some of them are missing their eyes. And that's like super creepy. And that happens to a girl that Ray meets. She first gets there. They're moving in. A young girl comes over and introduces herself. And kind of shows her around the town, but then whenever she goes to school the next day, the girl is missing. And then a couple of days later, she's found coming out of the woods and she's missing her eyes. And that makes Ray really curious about what's happening. And she wants to find out what happened to the girl who had the potential to be her friend. And she feels bad about what happened to her, so she wants to figure it out. And since Caden is kind of in the thick of things, they kind of team up. And there's another girl that also kind of teams up with them. And it's like, does she have an ulterior motive for hanging out with them? Or does she really want to figure out what's happening? And yeah, I really, really like this one. And I can't gush about it enough because I really, really like it. Can't wait for the next one. Sorry if you can hear my dad's TV downstairs. He's 72 years old and going deaf, though he doesn't think he is. And he always has the TV on really, really loud. I can hear it, so I'm hoping you guys can't hear it. But if you can, that's what it is. Okay, so the next 3 books on my list are all cozy mysteries. If anybody knows me, they know that I really, really enjoy my cozy mysteries. And just happen to have 3 of my favorite series had new books this year, and I absolutely loved every one of them, so I had to put them on here. And so the first one I'm going to talk about is One for the Books by Jen McKinley, and this is the 11th book in the Library Lovers series, and finally we get the wedding for Sully and Lindsay, but things aren't going to go quite like they would hope. So it says, love is in the air in Briar Creek as librarian director Lindsay Norris and boat captain Mike Sully Sullivan are finally tying the knot. The entire town is excited for the happy day. Lindsay and Sully plan for a small wedding evaporates as more and more people are insisting upon attending the event of the year. Then Lindsay and her crafter-nooner pals head out to Bell Island to see if they can accommodate for the ever-expanding guest list. They are horrified to discover the body washed up on the rocky shore. Even worse, Lindsay recognizes the man as the justice of the peace who was supposed to officiate her wedding ceremony. When it becomes clear that he was murdered, Lindsay can't help but wonder if it has something to do with the wedding. And so, of course, she's going to have to investigate. And one of the things about it is the guy who died is also one of Sully's friends. So he kind of feels like he needs to figure out what happened to his friend before they can go ahead and go on with the wedding. And what they find out is that Steve wasn't quite as nice a guy as they thought he was. You know, on maybe the outside and appearance-wise, he was a pretty decent guy, but in the background, he had some things going on that maybe weren't quite so nice. And it was a lot of fun, and it was kind of fun watching or reading Lindsay being like stressed out because she wants the wedding to go off without a hitch, but they have nobody to marry them. She keeps going on and on planning the wedding, but the closer the date gets, she still doesn't have anybody to officiate the wedding, and it was just a lot of fun in general, and I always have a lot of fun. Jen McKinley is a romance author, and so she can write characters very well. She can write steamy characters, so like, it's not hard to fall in love with Sully. He's just very swoon-worthy, and I don't fall a lot for the men in my cozy mysteries quite so much, you know, but yeah, he was pretty easy to fall for, and it was really easy to see why Lindsay could fall for him too. And so yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. Okay, so my next favorite cozy mystery series that I want to talk about is Murder in the Bayou Boneyard. It's by Ellen Byron, and it's number 6 in the Cajun Country series. And this one is set in Pelican, Louisiana, so you got a lot of good Cajun kind of fun going on in it. And it has, and I'm not sure if I pronounce her name right, but Maggie Crozat, proprietor of a historic Cajun Country B&B, prefers to let the good times roll. But hard times rock her holstery when a new cell phone app makes it easier for locals to rent their spare rooms to tourists. With October and Halloween approaching, she conjures up a witchcrafty marketing scheme to draw visitors to Pelican, Louisiana. 5 local plantation B&B host Pelican's spooky past packages featuring regional crafts, unique menus, and pet costume parades. So yeah, there's quite a few things going on in this one, and I already talked about this one in my what I've read currently reading video that I just posted not too long ago, so I'm not gonna talk too much about this one. But I just really love the Cajun feel that this one has, and Maggie and her family, it's the family dynamics that I really enjoy. She's very close to her mom and dad, and even though she has a job as, like, I think it's called a docent at another plantation that's a museum, she's always helping her family out at their B&B, and she's also a local artist, and so she has her own art projects going. She sells like pictures of Pelican and things that she does puts them on mugs and things, and she sells them and things like that for people to have souvenirs. So she's got quite a bit on her plate as is. And then add, finding out who murders who in the series. But yeah, I really like this one. It's a lot of fun. Then the last book that I'm going to talk about is one that I just recently read, and this is Broadcast for Murder by J.C. Eaton, and it is, I believe, number 7? Yeah, it's number 7 in the Sophie Kimball mystery series. And it says here, turn on, tune in, drop dead. You just gotta love streaming. And this one is about Fee's mother, Harriet, is going to be a star. At least that's what Sun City West retiree describes her chance to host a live radio program of her book club's Book for Murder Mystery Hour on Arizona's KSCW. But instead of chatting about charming cozies, Harriet ends up screaming bloody murder over the airwaves after discovering the body of Howard Buell, the station's program director, in a closet with a pair of sewing shears shoved into his chest. So, yeah. This one is the whole series is great, and you should just, read the whole series because it's great, and it's a lot of fun. This one makes me laugh all the time. And it's about Sophie Kimball, who she's moved from where it's like colder. It's either Minnesota or Michigan, one of those up there where it's cold, to Arizona after her mother was hysteric because she thought that somebody was out to kill her book club. And so whenever she went there, she also found out that a guy she used to know, because she was she worked in bookkeeping, I think in dispatch or whatever at a police station up there. And Nate, he used to work there as a police officer, but he's retired, and he's opened up his own investigative firm. And he talks her into moving to Arizona and being his bookkeeper. So then she decides, well, since her mom's there and everything, she might as well. Sometimes I think she might regret that a little bit because her mother can be a little overboard. But she's a lot of fun too. And in this one, like it said, Harriet and her partner, Myrna, who they were going to be doing the broadcast together. Myrna's actually the one that found the body first, but Harriet also, discovers it and everything, and they don't realize that they're like on the air and they're talking about this murder, and they're on the air, so that was kind of funny. And yeah, it's got a lot of fun stuff. I think the seniors, which is Harriet is one of those, they're the ones that really make this like laugh out loud funny. They're always a little bit going a little bit they're overly dramatic. That's the word I'm trying to find. when something happens, they think, you know, somebody's going to be out to get them. And so Harriet's always wanting Sophie to figure out what's going on because she thinks that she's better than the local police. And she keeps trying to tell them that, you know, I'm just a bookkeeper. I'm not an investigator. But she's pretty good at finding things, probably because she is a bookkeeper and she's good at looking through things and making lists and things like that. And she's really good at it. And even her boss and her boyfriend, who also works there, they always give her credit. She's really good at finding things. The only thing it seems like lately, the better she gets at being good at being an investigator, sometimes she jumps to conclusions a little bit, and that is kind of annoying. But that's probably the only downside to this series. But other than that, I really like it. And Streetman, he plays a pretty good role in this one. He's always got a pretty decent role in all of them. He's a little Chewini, and he's Harriet's Chewini, and he's always being dressed up in things. But this one might look like it's a Christmas book, but it's actually Christmas in July. So it's not actually Christmas. But I read it for kind of, because it's, you know, Christmassy time, and it looked like it could go for Christmas. So I had read it anyway. And yeah, I just really, really enjoyed this one. And I had an e-arc of this one, but I got this from a Secret Santa type thing. And I'm so glad because now I got all the whole series in paperback. Anyway, so that's the 6 books that I deemed my favorites of the year. You will find no hyped books on my list because I don't read a whole lot of hyped books. More or less, you'll find books that nobody ever even heard of. But that's okay. And so I hope you liked this video. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.